early on the show, I went off about the whole Pokimane controversy because like you have the
Hmm.
commentary community who makes transformative content, and depending on the transformative content, it could be like essentially attacking somebody. I wanted to know like what were your thoughts on that? Not specifically the situation, but as that form of content as comes out, usually from the commentary community.
Well, so I'm honestly not familiar with the Pokimane thing. So abstract from that, like
Yeah.
what's the through line?
So I think when people when I say commentary community, you have an example like Keemstar, a
Hmm.
Leafy was here, or Leafy is here, or like Kairos Gaming, which is like for the most part they find people online or people are doing stuff and they like roast them, and sometimes bad things happen from them roasting people, or sometimes it's just them like just taking a piss, but usually it's never received well, and those creators will. I'm not saying that they all do this. I'm just using these three as an example. Um, they'll use the guise of, oh, this is transformative content and it's okay for me to roast somebody online because it's transformative content and this is how I make my living under that guise of protection. So I just want to know, like,
Hmm.
what do you think about that? Because I personally feel like to use the Pokimane situation, which I didn't want to, but I just needed to use the frame. Like she took down people's videos who were talking shit about her in certain cases, and I feel like that's totally in your right to do that. If it's something like I'll use the guy's video where he would take like literally, I think it was It's a Gundam. He's literally just flaming her and her fans about like you have the worst
Hmm.
fans essentially, and like your content is nothing and blah 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 blah. Sorry, long question. Sorry.
No, I mean it's difficult, isn't it? Because everyone is allowed to have an opinion,
Yes.
and they're allowed to share the opinion. What you are not free from is repercussions of sharing said opinion. Um, so I think to a degree, everyone takes a chance. I take a chance by being online. I try to be as consistent and as conscious of others' feelings and as respectful as I can be. Um, but that doesn't mean that I'm not a target for harassment or things like that. And people can do that if they want to, and I can be upset that people do it, but it is their right to do it.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean I have to like it, but they can. Things like this have existed forever. When you check out at the grocery store, what magazines bombard you every single time you go there? Gossip stuff.
Yeah.
It's a part of life. People just eat it up. And my personal feeling is I tend not to want to engage with that stuff. It doesn't mean that it isn't a part of life. Should it be? I don't know. When it comes to commentary, everyone's allowed to comment on things and have a different opinion. It might be a wrong opinion. It could be a right opinion, but they're still allowed to have it.
Okay.
But I think when it comes to harassment, that's the thing. There needs to be a line.
Yes.
Like I don't think that if people are, but that's the other issue too, right? Is that who's doing the harassing? Is it instigating? Like it's fans that seem to take it a step further for the most part, at least from what I've gleaned online, and then it turns into harassment, and that's scary because everyone has a right to be safe. One thing I'm very happy about is that I'm not particularly famous because I think that having people following around taking photos would just crush my soul and my spirit, and I think that a lot of people tend to believe that that is just part of what comes with the job of being popular or things like that. And I don't necessarily know if I agree with that. I can understand it, but it seems a little strange to me.
That's actually fucking mad deep. The statement of like, if I had someone walking around taking pictures of me the whole time, I'd be depressed. And I think a lot of people want that, but they don't understand actually what comes along with like being a
I don't
true
think anybody
influencer.
actually wants that.
Yes.
Well, I think some people.
There's some people who
I think
desire
there
that
is
shit.
this weird fascination with it. Um, you know, when it comes to, I can only talk about myself. I never intended to be an on-camera person.
Hmm.
That was not my intent. My intent was just to be a filmmaker, and I hopefully was good enough where people might know my name, but I didn't ever want them to know what I looked like.
Hmm.
You know, if Sam Raimi walked down the street, I wouldn't know that was Sam Raimi because I don't know what he looks like. I love his movies, I know his name, but I love his art, and I've always wanted people just to like me for the things that I create, not for me as a human being. That's the connection that I want with people. And I think when it comes to this kind of stuff, we're talking about paparazzi or gossip. I want the conversation to be around the art that I create, not the person that I am. I mean, I hope I'm a good person, but I want my art. It's like people are like I dress like garbage because I don't care what I look like. I don't care if you
Yeah.
judge me by this. I want you to judge me by what I have made. That is what I want to be judged upon. But that's just me.
No, that's fucking great.
Stuff.
That's good.
It's tough.